Hi, Patrick Young here. It's Mission to Run. We're doing a bit of, well, all-round startupping at Tech Open Air in Berlin. We're also looking at the women in tech scene, and indeed, we're about to do some epic shit, ladies and gentlemen. I'm with Patrycja Slawuta, possibly the most famous bi-coastal Pole in the world, who's just been given a great presentation. Patrycja, tell us, how do we do epic shit?
We do epic shit by actually doing it. That's the difference between thinking, planning, imagining, wishing, washing, and doing. So as Nike family said, just do it. So start with starting.
So start with starting. Don't allow your glass to be half full or half empty. Just keep refilling it, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so what's one or two steps that anybody out there can take right now who's watching Mission to Run?
First of all, to do epic shit, understand what the epic shit is for you, actually. And whether it's really yours or is it somebody else's. The thing is, we get wired and programmed by others, so that's why people run out of juice very quickly, because the things we want to do are not necessarily ours. So I would say, what is that you really want to do? And then the second one is just get started. The whole work on procrastination that we know from science, it really all starts with taking the very first, very tiny step forward.
So tiny steps forward, move along, and indeed, ultimately, that's what gets you to epic events like Tech Open Air. Now, you're living bi-coastally at the moment. Tell us what it's like living out of a shoebox.
Well, I'm technically homeless and jobless, as my mom would put it. So I fulfilled the worst nightmare of my mom and my grandma. I actually packed all my stuff from New York City and moved to San Francisco, and now I'm not only bi-coastal, but I go and travel different places. There is a recent book, The Magic of Tidying Up, that got actually very, very viral in the US, and it's all about releasing and how can you release. Dalai Lama said if there's mess on the outside, there's mess inside here. So it's actually extremely cathartic to release things. All the old tchotchke that we have that remind us of something that happened. I would say if you want to have mind space and space in your mind, you have to have space in the surroundings as well.
So in other words, in tech terms, when you're looking at hacking your mind, what you've got to do first of all is make sure you've defragged and sorted your disk space. Patrycja, tell us a little bit about how you work with women in tech and indeed in the general startup space.
So we find that in tech space that there's a confidence gap. Men are said to be healthy overconfident, women significantly underconfident. So really what I work on is all the limiting beliefs that we have as women, working with the neuroscience. The research shows that actually the brain of men and women is the same. The women's brain, the worry word center is much bigger, so we actually ruminate all the time and we keep spinning in our heads. So it is work on neuroscience, it's work in rewiring that kind of worry word center and risk-taking. Research shows that women are significantly taking much less risk, therefore exposing ourselves to much less opportunities than men do.
Earlier, you invited us all to take a step forward and just work our way into the future. Patrycja, I think it's time for us, for Mission to Run, to move forward. Take one step forward on a 3, a 2, and a 1. And thank you very much for your time, Patrycja.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.